Hey, I am Corvon. I wanted to tell you another vague story where I leave out all the juicy details, just like everybody else on YouTube. The story begins like this. 2.5 years ago, actually, it was probably more like 4 years ago, I think it was 4 years ago. Back then, I was a different person. Wasn't everybody? I was way different back then. And I began a certain part of my journey, doing a certain something that I will not mention. Juicy details, hidden. Maybe one day I'll tell you, when you're older, and you've grown up a little bit. So right now, your room ain't clean. Maybe you pick up some of that trash. I'll tell you some old story. My family saw me doing this stuff, and it was subtle at first. Oh, Mr. Corvon getting into stuff, new things that I'm not involved in, that I don't know anything about. He looks like he's all right. He looks like he's doing just fine. Well, he got wild. I got wild. I started getting strange. Oh, but you're already strange, Mr. Lordhaze. Well, fine, viewer. I was a lot more strange back then, and I now hold the capacity to become much stranger. And I'm so happy about that. Delighted, to say the least. But anyway, so this stuff that I got into made me act all weird. I suddenly had a boost in confidence, a lowering of the IQ, but an increase in the ideas, but a decrease in the ability to explain those ideas, because my memory was in the trash and didn't have much to share in that aspect. My family couldn't do much about any of this. I am sure that they said, "Oh, please, Mr. Lordhaze, please stop." And I wouldn't. No matter what, I'd always say, "It's all right, I got it, it's my business, not yours." That's pretty much all I would say. No, I'd say a lot of other weird stuff, but I would say that I got it, and that they don't need to worry, and it ain't no big deal, and I am doing the right thing. I'd say that every time, something like that, and I weirded out hundreds of people, I'm sure, walking through stores, convenience stores, picking up the groceries, weirding people out. People pulling their children away, understandable, because I was walking around in dreadlocks down to my hips, wearing bell-bottom jeans with holes in them, wearing 3.5-inch platform shoes, and wearing baby doll shirts. I don't know if that's what you call them. You know, those shirts that you go to stores and they got their arms, the sleeves are like this. Girl t-shirts. I don't like saying that they're girl t-shirts because I was a guy and I wore them, but they didn't really look that great on me, to be honest. You know, my perception was a little bit off. So I am thankful to be 100% back to normal. Not really, but at least I can tell when I'm weirding somebody out, and at least I care enough to stay away from weirding people out, unless I get just so much joy out of it, more joy than I get out of taking you in and seeing what you have to offer me. But apparently, I just could not be stopped. Eventually, I had to get hurt a bunch of times, emotionally and physically, before finally I'd realized that I needed to stay away from that stuff. And thankfully, I'm away from it now. And I even went back and I tried it again, and I tried it again. And my conclusion was, in the beginning, I started so little, such a tiny amount. Then a week later, a little bit more. Then a week later, a little bit more. Then a week later, a little bit more. It was already in my system. It had already been circulating through me. And I just started getting higher and higher and higher with it, until eventually I just wasn't even there anymore. So now, after I'm more stable and I went back and tried it again, it wasn't any good. Took a piece of my brain and it threw it in the trash, and it said, you know what, you don't really need that, do you? And I said, actually, yes, I really do need that part of my brain, and I'd like to have it back. Please give it back. Oh my God, what's happening to me? It took many hours for my sanity to come back. But it's here now. You may not know it, you know, because you probably got that weird look on your face like, blah, somebody weird looking on the internet. Somebody that's doing something new. Not sure I like that very much. Is that what you're thinking? I want you to do whatever it is you want. But be warned, doing the things you like and love to do comes with its share of consequences. Either you will ask yourself, am I ready for the consequences of doing what I love? Or maybe you'll ask, am I ready to accept the consequences of not doing what I want? Ooh, titillating. In all of this, I have found one thing that I like to think about. Something that frightens me a little bit. I like some scary stuff. I like the feeling of challenging my fear, looking it in the face and saying, you know what, I just can't look away anymore, because everything over there, it means so much less when I look at you. And I say, you know what, I don't think I can look. I don't think I can do that anymore. So I look at my beautiful fears and I say, we're gonna look into this. What is this? What is that in there? I see something. I see somebody wants to frighten me. There are people that want to frighten you. I am not one of them. I like to explore this essence of fright that I experience. I scare myself. I'm certain that is something that you are probably not used to. I scare myself because I know what I am capable of, and I know that the consequences of what I do are frightening to me. I want to do what I want to do, but I am afraid of the consequences. But if I do not go forth with what I want to do, then I live in the fear of doing what I want to do. And I have found that living life in that way is not worth it. And when I think of that, I realize that there is so much more worth living for. I don't want to hide in the shadows. If I'm gonna live any amount of time on this planet with you people, of all colors and all shapes and sizes, of all kinds of different accents, of all kinds of pretty faces and ugly faces, but you know what? Beauty is relative. I don't know why I enjoy thinking about how people cannot seem to stop me when I am determined. Eventually they do. When people think I'm getting out of hand, they always call in the cavalry. Cavalry always shows up to calm me down, because sometimes I get lost in here and I go way out there into oblivion, and sometimes people have to reel me back in, and I think I like that. I like being the one that's a little bit far out, the one in the group that you're a little bit afraid might do something a little bit wild. But if you say, hey, whoa, calm down a little bit, that he'll be alright. But sometimes want to calm down. He likes to get wild. A little bit crazy. Not because he is crazy, but because he likes to explore what crazy means. Because he doesn't see enough of it. He doesn't know what crazy means. He likes to explore what crazy is. Sometimes you get a little crazy with exploring the crazy. Somebody has to say, ding, ding, ding. Hello, is you in there? Are you anywhere in here to be coming back to this place with us? Because we miss you and we love you, and the way you're acting scares us. So please come back home and give us a hug, and we will cook you some dinner and make you some tea and pat you on the head, because you're a good, nice person and we love you. And we don't care about all these wild things that you like to do. We just want you to know that we love you. Bring it on in. So, I hope I've made something interesting here. Something a little bit worthwhile to somebody. I know one person in particular. If you did stick around for all of this, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you love what I do, then do whatever you want to, because you are not my slave, and I am not your master, even though I am a master.
Night.